So Robyn made a comment last night when we were starting to talk about something that I think for her became a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, she really became like this really protective mother at that point. Like she was going to throw this wall up really quick.
If you have the TLC Go app or Discovery Plus, I highly recommend doing a rewatch from the beginning of Sister Wives. But I especially recommend the 2 episodes in season 8 in which the anthropology students Richard and Antoinette pay a visit to the Brown family. Watching these 2 episodes in particular for me has been really something to behold, given what we know now in 2023. I can best describe these episodes as laughably hypocritical if you're watching Robyn and Kody, and it's somewhat prophetic if you're watching the other wives. I was actually gathering clips for another video when I stumbled across this interview that Robyn was giving. And it was about her being super vigilant about what her kids were exposed to, as far as maybe non-traditional relationships and cohabitation dynamics. And you guys, we need to discuss this. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. So let me set the scene here. This is season 8. These episodes aired in February of 2015. And as far as the Brown family timeline goes, this is before Mary suggests divorcing Kody so that Kody could legally marry Robyn and adopt her 3 oldest kids. This is really important context for the judgment with which Robyn looks down on the anthropology students and what they describe are their lifestyle choices. During season 8, 2 anthropology students from the University of Las Vegas paid a visit to the Brown family, and they actually stayed at Mary's house and they observed the family for a couple days. This was probably what most of us would consider to be the best of times in terms of the Brown family living logistics. They were happily settled in the cul-de-sac. There was never a better time for Kody to shine as the Regina George's mom of polygamy. Like, he's not a regular polygamist. He's a cool polygamist. And attempt to shine, he did. The only problem is that Kody has an inability to keep the mask on for very long. It's one thing to keep the charade up for the cameras when they're rolling. When people are actually in your home 24/7, it's just not possible to keep that facade going the entire time. So naturally, the anthropology students observed some of the family dynamics, and some of these things did not go over so well when they brought it to the adults' attention. I have previously discussed how Robyn got super boo-hurt when Antoinette brought up the fact that Kody was spending a lot of time specifically with Solomon. Robyn demanded a lot of time and attention from Kody, and she really capitalized and manipulated Kody's obvious preference for her. Having someone point that out was not okay, because at this point, Robyn and Kody had the other wives still towing the company line that Kody was this amazing father, amazing husband, and just overall an exemplary family man. Then there was this moment where the anthropology students are discussing their personal views on marriage with the Brown family adults. There are kids wandering in and out as all the adults are speaking. And this is just really a great example of the tight control that Robyn wields over her kids specifically.
All adults went back into the kitchen table and sat down and ended up in this discussion about marriage and how less and less people are getting married and they're just living together.
So, why get married, right? So is it because you can have, a different tax bracket or tax write-offs? Is it to basically say that, I'm married and people are going to see me as an adult now? Because that happens a lot, right? What makes you an adult? That can be really unappealing for some people, and they choose not to get married. For some people, they really don't want to get to that level because then it's permanent.
No disrespect for Richard or Antoinette or their lifestyle in any way, but in their personal lives, this is what they're doing. They're choosing to have a partner live with them for an extended amount of time, committed, but at the same time, no legal marriage involved. For me, it just kind of felt like they were saying, this is the better way. I don't want my kids to hear this. I would rather not this be something that my kids, see as like, oh, this is a great thing too. I mean, I don't feel like my children are ready or mature enough to actually hear that this is something that's a choice.
First of all, Isabel and Peyton were literally sitting through this entire conversation and Christine wasn't shooing them away. I also saw Gabe sitting around the adults at one point. I know this scene was obviously edited, but at no time in the footage did I see Robyn's kids. Maybe they walked in and walked out, but it doesn't appear like they were gathered around the adults really listening or participating in the conversation. So Kody's self-stated purpose for even doing the show was to show that polygamous families are just like us being the people that practice monogamy or more traditional family setups. Kody wanted to prove the point that a man could have multiple wives and multiple kids across many households, and he can still be an active participant in the lives of all of his family members. The way I interpreted what the anthropology students were saying here was more that they were trying to find common ground with the brown adults. They themselves might not practice polygamy, but they also acknowledged that they didn't necessarily feel that legal marriage and 2.5 kids and a dog in the suburbs was necessarily the right route for everyone. Robyn flat out says, I don't want my kids to hear any of this. If it works for Richard and Antoinette to not be married and cohabitating with their partner, good for them, but Robyn does not want her kids exposed to that kind of secular hedonism. She goes on to say she doesn't feel like her kids are ready or mature enough to hear about this kind of lifestyle choice. Of course, she says no disrespect to Richard or Antoinette or their lifestyle in any way. Richard and Antoinette believe that you can live with a partner and be committed to them and not have a legal marriage. Robyn, at this point in time, you are currently living with Kody and purporting to be committed without having a legal marriage. Robyn felt like Richard and Antoinette were saying that this was the better way. The audacity, the hypocrisy, and just the nonsensical nature of this argument of Robyn's, I don't even know where to begin. Obviously, people are going to think that the way they are choosing to live their lives is the better way. That's why they're living their lives that way. Whether you choose monogamy, polygamy, legal marriage, or no legal marriage, it's whatever works best for you. Again, I didn't get the feeling that Richard or Antoinette were trying to say that their lifestyle choice was the better way. I think they were trying to find common ground with the Browns about not being legally married to some of their partners. It came off like them saying, hey, a bunch of you guys are not legally married, but you guys are very much committed to each other and a family, including you, Robyn. Robyn doesn't want her kids to hear that people can be happy choosing to not get legally married like she did. Make it make sense. Also, if we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this nonsensical argument of Robyn's, I think it would be fair to point out that up until this point in the series, her kids have only ever witnessed her in an unhappy legal marriage with their biological father. So legal marriage has not exactly been exemplified for them. At this point in the series, they are simply a quarter of their mother's non-legal husband's big picture. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this clip, but I was just a little taken aback by Robyn's argument. I feel like she really said the quiet part out loud, that she wants to wield like ultimate control over her kids. And it's incredibly hypocritical. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As always, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at realiteasquad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.